first key is just take the pitching from game 1, take the offense from game 2, put them together, you win the baseball game.
Yeah,
that's my key to just play. You need a complete game from both sides. The pitching was excellent in game 1. I know Kyle Bradish didn't go maybe as deep as you wanted him to, but the bullpen was awesome. You held this high-powered Texas Rangers offense to 3 runs, but you only scored 2. And then in game 2, the offense was awesome. 8 runs, 14 hits. That's going to win you a lot of baseball games, except when the pitching doesn't hold up its end of the bargain and gives up 11 runs.
Which has been so rare this year.
Put the good parts of those 2 things together, boom, baseball game. Win.
Baseball game win.
Easy. It's as easy as that.
Yes. My first key for this one is that Dean's got a duel Eovaldi. I mean, he has to give you a good start, and he's got to go at least a little bit deep. He's got to be Mean Dean, the pitching machine.
He
does. He has to get through the 5th inning.
Yeah.
I mean, Bradish didn't get through the 5th inning. Neither did Grayson. They need a pitcher to get through the 5th inning and just give the offense a chance to ride something and work with a lead for a little bit if they can get one. So my first key to this game is that Mean Dean has to go out there and pitch incredibly well. Which is obviously you'd want that, but they haven't had it. They need it.
Yeah, that was one of my keys as well. Is Dean Kramer gives you 5 innings.
Yes,
you feel really good about where you are in that game. My second key, it's not really a key. It's just show the fight that you have shown all year. We got a comment on YouTube. Thanks for following along live with us here. Comment on YouTube saying, if anybody is going to string off 3 wins in a row to come back in an ALDS, it is going to be the 2023 Baltimore Orioles.
True.
And I think that is hitting the nail on the head there. The Orioles have done this all season long. Again, on a game-to-game basis, they do it. And this is a team that I think they were way over their... Fangraphs has like an expected wins metric. They were way over that based on game situations because they fight.
Yes.
I mean, they fought in game 1. They were right in that game. And game 2, you give up 9 runs in the first 3 innings and lose that ball game by 3 runs.
Yes.
The Orioles fought until the very end. Aaron Hicks with a 3-run homer in the 9th inning
on base
to pull that game within 3. The Orioles did not stop fighting in game 2, and they are not going to stop fighting now. This is a young team. This is a hungry team, and I expect them to put up a whale of a fight in game 3.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. My only other key is that you've got to show some of the Orioles magic that we've seen, which I think is very similar to what you just said.
Yeah.
You need the guys to have the clutch hits, the random bullpen arms that at one time were random, the Yenyer Canoes of the world, and Danny Coulombs came out, and they played incredibly well. Those guys need to return to form and just be locked down and have all the confidence in the world in them. You just need everybody to be firing at all cylinders and have the guys in the bottom of the lineup, like we said last game, the guys in the bottom of the lineup who are oftentimes unsung heroes like the Adam Fraziers and Ramon Uriases, those guys need to come up clutch. It's all hands on deck for a game like this. Yeah. Everybody needs to be fighting, playing every single at-bat, every single pitch. And like you said, and like that YouTube commenter said, if any team's going to be able to pull that off, it's these Orioles.
Yeah, and they just haven't been playing like the team that we have seen for 162 games in the first 2 games of this ALDS.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. They just need to play like the team that they were this year. I've got 2 more keys. One of them is, I mentioned it off the top, let's get Cedric Mullins going.
Yep.
And let's get Adley Rutschman going. Cedric Mullins, again, he has been hitting a little bit frustrated over the last few weeks of the season here, has not performed offensively like the Cedric Mullins that we are used to seeing over the last few years here. He is one of the leaders on this team, and I think it's underrated. It's not going to show up in a stat sheet where if the rest of the Orioles lineup is looking at one of their leaders in Cedric Mullins, and he is as visibly frustrated, rightfully so, as he has been, that's tough to see one of your leaders kind of go through those struggles a little bit. But if Cedric Mullins is able to turn things around here and has a big game 3 and turns into a spark plug towards the bottom of the lineup here, I think that's huge because Cedric Mullins, he's not going anywhere.
Yes.
He's not going to be out of the starting lineup. He is way too good in center field, and his upside at the plate is way too high. So Cedric Mullins is going to be in the lineup day in and day out. And if he can turn things around here, I think that would be a massive, massive boost. Not just for literally the play on the field, but just for the Orioles to be able to look at their leader and see somebody who is really turning a corner. And I think that just gets the team going.
Yes. It's similar to the ace of a staff putting out a really good performance to get everybody else reared and ready to go. I feel like the leader of a lineup, or one of the leaders of a lineup, which Cedric Mullins is one of, if he goes out there and he has a great game, he breaks out of this slump, that gets everybody else fired up.
Yeah.
So if he can break out of it, I think you're right in thinking that the rest of the lineup will follow him and will continue to play as well as he could.
Same thing goes for Adley Rutschman. We know that he is one of the leaders on this team in this clubhouse. He's 1 for 8 so far with a walk.
Yeah.
You expect
double, though.
Adley Rutschman to turn it around. Yeah, was a double, was a good hit. You expect Adley Rutschman to turn things around. You really hope he does it in Game 3. Because, again, if Adley Rutschman and Cedric Mullins are hitting well, those are the two leaders in the lineup, them and Gunnar Henderson, that you can kind of look at day in and day out and expect those guys to produce. And so getting Cedric Mullins and Adley Rutschman going would be huge.
Yep.
My final key to this
Guy's
game.
full of keys.
A lot of keys.
He's a locksmith.
I mentioned before Game 2 who is going to be a spark plug at the bottom of the lineup. And a lot of guys were. I mean, Aaron Hicks with 5 RBIs. Jorge Mateo went 4 for 4. Keep that rolling. I think that was really the key to the offense in Game 2. You had guys at the bottom of the lineup that were consistently getting on base. You're able to turn the lineup over to get it to guys like Gunnar Henderson, who had a really nice game. Austin Hayes, who had a really nice game. If the bottom of the lineup can continue to get on base, turn things over to the top of the lineup, who can drive those guys in, we saw it in Game 2. That's the key to a good offense.
Yes. Honestly, all of these keys go back to your first one, which is you played well on the mound in the first game.
You take this.
You hit really well in the second one. Pop it together.
Yeah.
And just play a good baseball game.
Yeah. Well, we will see what the Orioles are able to do tonight on the brink of elimination. But again, we've said it a few times on this show. We will say it again. If there is one team that is capable of coming back in this series, of winning 3 straight, of surprising the baseball world, it is the Baltimore Orioles. They have been surprising the baseball world for the entire 2023 season. And we wouldn't be surprised if it happens here.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is the identity of this Orioles team. Their back is against the wall, and we'll see what they can do tonight.